What's up, Ferrall fans? Brian Ciano, aka Mafia, here with you with Scott and Cover High. Take the week off to rest and rehydrate and relax and refresh. So I'm here with you all week talking about everything going on in sports. Of course, yesterday we talked about the Boogie Cousins trade. Today we got more basketball news as the Lakers make huge sweeping changes through the organization, from the top as the president all the way down to the media guy and the players. The only ones that really matter the most are, of course, at the top, with Magic Johnson taking over as the president of basketball operations and getting rid of Mitch Kupchak and bringing in new GM. To me, I like it in some respects, but I really question a lot of things about it, especially the timing of it. I mean, last week he just brought in Magic as an advisor to the team, and then a couple days later he's talking about, oh, you know what, I'm glad to be part of the organization, but really I want to run everything and I should bring in Kobe Bryant. So then what happens this week is you give him the power and let him run everything, and he brings in the agent of Kobe Bryant to now be the GM. I'm not a big fan of the way things went down there in LA. Now, Magic taking over, I can understand, I can appreciate, I can even like. I know he doesn't have a huge amount of front office experience, of running the team experience. Obviously an incredible player, obviously an incredible businessman, obviously part of the ownership of the Dodgers, who have put a winning product out there the last couple of years since they took over. So, the guy has a lot of experience with making winners of things. Does he have experience with the front office of an NBA team? No. But that can be fixed if you put the right people around you. But what I don't like about it is the way they handled it, the timing of it, the way things went down. I mean, if you're going to bring the guy in and eventually give him this job, which we all figured they would because Jim Buss was on a ticking time clock. Jeannie had put a better be goodbye date on his tenure as the head of the franchise and said, if you don't give a winner by this point, we're getting you out of there. If you still suck, you're hitting the road and just collecting your checks as the owner, and that's it. So you knew that was coming down the road because Jim Buss wasn't a good guy as far as the running of the team. He's part of the ownership, of course, still, as all of Dr. Jerry Buss's kids are, but didn't do a good job running things. Everyone always thought that Jeannie would be better running the team as it was. So you knew he was out of there at some point. But if you're going to bring Magic in, if you're going to bring him in to run the team, if you want him to have this job, then you should have just given him the job in the first place. It just makes you look bad when you bring the guy in as an advisor, which is pretty much a symbolic role in most cases, which really does not much at all. And it's just some former player or some former coach or some former person involved with the team that you're giving some role that really doesn't mean much, doesn't have much weight, but you're making them part of the franchise, giving them a paycheck, help them out, and also using them as a face of the franchise, for public relations standpoint, to get them out there and make everybody think about the good times about when they were involved with the franchise. That's usually what that is. So if you're going to bring Magic in, actually give him a lot of power like you did, then you should have just done it from the start. But to give him that role, then have him go out in the media a couple days later and pretty much bash the role you give him and say that, yeah, this is nice, but this isn't what I want. What I want is full power, and then you go and give him that power. It makes you look weak. It makes you look silly that you're kowtowing to him. You should have just brought him in from the beginning as the guy to run it all if that's what you're going to do. And what I really question about these moves is less about Magic Johnson being at the top and more about the guy who's putting underneath him in the former agent of Kobe Bryant. Now, this guy obviously has negotiation tactics and standpoints and knows the Lakers well from his time doing Kobe's deals. He knows it from the other side. Now he's got to be the one to handle the cap. Now he's got to be the one to say, you know what, your player's not worth as much as you think, and to try to keep things in perspective and get the team built around these great young players that they have. It just seems weird that you're bringing this guy in after you just again mentioned Kobe and wanting him to be a part of it, and you're bringing in another guy who doesn't have any experience running a team. Great, he's involved in the business, but that doesn't mean he can handle the cap, doesn't mean he could really put a actual value on these players and get them down to what he needs them to be instead of giving them what they want, what their agents want. He's going to know all the agents, but that still, to me, doesn't necessarily help the bargaining position. I think if you're going to put Magic in the spot that you put him in, you need to give him a strong GM who he could bounce things off of and who has that experience that he could work off of. And this isn't the move that I would have made. In fact, I wouldn't have gotten rid of Mitch Kupchak. You want to get rid of Buss? Completely understand it, completely agree with it. All thumbs up, go for it. Kupchak was a good GM. Yeah, the team hasn't been good in a couple of years, but that's not his fault. Because you saddled him with Jim Buss atop, controlling what he does, and you saddled him with Kobe the last couple of years of his career, who was always hurt, making a ton of money, and not letting anyone else be a big part of that team. I mean, you had Dwight Howard. He brought him in there, and Kobe ran him out of town. You weren't going to get a lot of these major stars to kind of take over the reins after Kobe was gone until he was gone, because in Kobe's mind, even though his skills weren't what they once were, he was still going to get paid like they were, and he was still going to control the ball like they were, and it hurt the team. It held them back. So the only way you were going to rebuild is how they were doing it with these young players that they drafted. And who you have? You have guys like D'Angelo Russell. You have guys like Jordan Clarkson, guys like Julius Randle. You have a lot of young talent that you're building around, and with a young coach like Luke Walton, yeah, they're not getting all the wins that they might want in LA, that the Lakers fans are used to, but you were heading in the right direction. You were starting the rebuild this year. So to get rid of Mitch Kupchak like it's his fault that the team stinks, I don't agree with it. I think that was a bad move. I think he should have been left in to work with Magic. It's not like he doesn't know him. Both of them have been around the franchise forever. Should have let them work together, I think. I think it would have been a lot better than pairing him with a GM who has never been a GM before and who has never really been with the Lakers before. Yes, he's worked with them, but he has not been in that organization. I think you should have left Kupchak in there and let him continue the rebuild that he was doing a good job of. I mean, he got Luke Walton. He got these young players who show talent, who show promise. Are they a good team right now? No. You're never going to have a team that's great when most of your roster is under 25. But they were starting their progression that way. They could have brought in some free agents. They brought in, Lou Williams, who I thought was a very good player, probably a sixth man of the year. Now you traded him away, so you have no veterans. I understand the move because you're getting a pick. He's not going to be there when you're good. You want the pick, okay, I get that. Not a huge fan of it, but it is what it is. You needed someone with experience in that front office to help out Magic. So I thought getting rid of Mitch was a bad idea. I thought the guy was doing a good job. He's built some great teams before for the Lakers. He's made them a winner before. I thought he should have been left in place. So anyway, lots of changes in LA. We'll see how it works. I think Genie at the top is good. I think Magic right below her is good. I think he could have done better with the GM. But anyway, that's what's going on in La La Land and Lipstick City. We'll be back tomorrow to talk about more of things going on in the world of sports. It's Mafia signing off.